The Mission Impossible franchise has finally reached its conclusion with Final Reckoning, and what a ride it's been. For nearly 30 years, Tom Cruise has poured his entire being into this series, physically, emotionally, and literally jumping off of mountains to make it bigger and better each time. He didn't just reinvent Ethan Hunt, he's redefined the modern action hero with the newest and supposedly final chapter behind us. It's time to rank all 8 Mission Impossible films, from the misfires to the masterpieces. Mission Impossible 2 is borderline unwatchable. John Woo brought style and doves in slow-mo to this sequel, but none of it adds up to anything worthwhile. It's a strange tonal departure from the sleek espionage vibe of the original, veering more into the over-top melodrama than actual storytelling. Cruise looks great doing slow-mo dives, but the movie forgets to care about plot, characters, or anything other than style for style's sake. Thondway Newton is underused, the villain is forgettable, and the action, despite the stunt work, doesn't land the way it should. It's the only entry I will never want to rewatch. Mission Impossible is classy but clunky. This is where it all began. De Palma's first film introduced us to Ethan Hunt, the IMF, and that iconic vault sequence that still gets referenced today. But let's be real, this movie is more about espionage and plot twists than stunts, and it's very of its time. The pace is slow by today's standards, and while the Dutch angles and spy drama are entertaining, it doesn't yet have the signature adrenaline that the franchise is known for. Still, it laid the groundwork, and for that, it earns respect. Mission Impossible 3, the Philip Seymour Hoffman movie. This one hinges entirely on Hoffman, and it works. He plays the most intimidating villain the series has seen, and calm, calculated, and cold-blooded. This was J.J. Abrams' first time directing a feature film, and you can feel the Alias-style drama bleeding through. It's the most emotionally grounded of the early entries, digging into Ethan's personal life in a way that's both refreshing and at times jarring. The pacing and shaky cam action don't always hold up, but it's a turning point for the franchise, giving us a more human Hunt. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, an ambitious but overstuffed finale. There's great action here, some of the best in the series, including the submarine sequence and brutal hand-to-hand fight on a jet, but the pacing is uneven. This feels like a greatest hits montage stretched into a 3-hour film. Flashbacks, exposition dumps, long pauses. It drags too much for a franchise that used to have all the momentum. The cast is still excellent, the stakes are high, and the payoff is satisfying, but it lacks the focused precision that made earlier entries sing. It's not a bad film, but it's not the send-off Cruise deserved. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, the game changer. This is the first Mission Impossible film I saw in theaters, and it absolutely blew me away. Brad Bird elevated the franchise into blockbuster status with bold set pieces, slick visuals, and a newfound sense of team dynamic. The Burj Khalifa climb is still legendary. Ghost Protocol re-energized the franchise, giving it a playful tone without sacrificing stakes. The team chemistry between Cruise, Jeremy Renner, Simon Pegg, and Paula Patton adds so much to the formula, and from this point on, the franchise became essential viewing. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, the most underrated in the franchise. Rogue Nation gets better every time I watch it. Rebecca Ferguson's Ilsa Faust is one of the best characters ever introduced in the series, and her chemistry with Cruise is undeniable. The Opera House sequence in Vienna is top-tier suspense filmmaking. It's also one of the funniest films in the series, with Tom Cruise at his most charismatic and absurd. See the underwater sequence. This is the movie where everything locked into place: tone, pacing, character, and spectacle. It proved Fallout wouldn't just be a fluke, it would be inevitable. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 should have been the finale. This film is a masterpiece of action storytelling, the train sequence alone unreal, the AI as the villain angle is timely and terrifying, and the whole Venice chase sequence had me on the edge of my seat. Haley Atwell's Grace is a welcome addition, and her dynamic with Ethan is refreshing and unpredictable. This movie sticks to landing in every way, lean, tight, relentless. If the series had ended here, it would have been perfect. Unfortunately, splitting it into 2 parts undermined the payoff we got in Final Reckoning. Mission Impossible Fallout, the peak of the genre. There's a reason people call this the greatest action movie of the modern era. I'll never forget seeing Fallout with my dad, both of us stunned in silence when it ended. The pacing is flawless, the action scenes are god tier, the halo jump, the helicopter chase, the bathroom fight, and Henry Cavill injects the film with raw, brute force. Every twist, every chase, every emotional beat hits This is Mission Impossible firing on all cylinders, and if the franchise had ended here, it would have been the perfect conclusion. Cruise, McQuarrie, the whole team, thank you for one of the best action films ever made. This franchise has been one of the greatest gifts action cinema has ever received. Tom Cruise didn't just give us movies, he gave us real stunts, real danger, real commitment. Even when the story wavered, the heart was always there, and for nearly 3 decades, the heart beat stronger than ever. What a run.
So, how is he?
Hell, you know, same old Ethan.
What the hell is he doing?
I find it best not to look.
Tune in every Friday for new movie videos. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below what other movies you would like me to do videos on. Thank you, Mom, for editing the scripts for my movie essays. I appreciate you. Till next time, thanks for watching. Catch you on the flip side.